Hello, everybody. I was just scooting over because my camera is looking this way today. I don't know why. Anyways, hello, Alina Wilson here. Nice to see you all. If you're watching the replay, good to see you as well. We're going to do an estimate review today. So I'm going to start off here while we're waiting for some people to join. What do we do here at Estimate Mastery? So, over the years, there's always been confusion like, are you guys Xactimate? No, we're not. Do you have anything to do with Verisk or the software? No, we don't. All we do is offer an online program, coaching, and community where we help roofing contractors get paid what they should on their insurance-related jobs. We don't touch retail. All we do is help with insurance-related work. And we start with the beginning of our process with a contractor is as soon as the job is sold. So I don't teach roof sales. I don't teach marketing or any of that, although if we ever join our group, we do have conversations about that. And I've got lots of good ideas. But basically, the meat and potatoes, what we do here at Estimate Mastery is from the time the job is sold all the way up to depreciation release. That's what we help you with. Anything to do with the insurance job and how to onboard the homeowner, how to take the right photos, how to meet with the adjuster in a really amicable way that sets you up for success with the process. Then how to write the estimate in Xactimate. And how to submit it, how to overcome the objections from the adjuster as they try to delay, deny, and defend. And then once you do get your supplement paid, how do we close this out in the quickest way possible? That's what we do here at Estimate Mastery. So I'm excited today. We're going to do an estimate walkthrough. And I haven't done one of these in a really long time. So I'm excited. I got a good one on deck for us today. It's actually a State Farm estimate. And we've got some photos for you and all of that. So I'm going to try to share my screen here. Again, I haven't done this for a minute. So let's see if I can get these photos rocking for us here really quick. And I'm going to get one. I'm going to start with the roof here. So there we go. Okay, we'll start with that one. And I'm going to go ahead and share. Let's get this going. Amanda's going to tell me if she can see my screen. So we're going to share screen one. It's going to look like Inception for a second as I pull this over. And you should be able to see a picture of the roof. So Amanda, will you text me and let me know if you're seeing that? And I know there's a bit of a lag. So we are looking today at a home that is located, let's see what the price list says really quick. Here we go. We're looking at Denver, Colorado. I can tell that because I can decipher the price list here. I have removed the particulars from this estimate so that I don't reveal any confidential details, but I will tell you this is a live estimate from Denver, Colorado, and yes, we can see my screen. Good to go. So we're working with State Farm here, live Denver, Colorado estimate that we were looking at. And looks like it was written on November 16th. What I love about a State Farm estimate, if you guys don't already know this, is that you can actually take a look at their building summary guide. This is their, example. And it'll show you on your example, pretty cool here. It shows you the GC O&P. It factors it into the estimate in the example. So it's a great place to show your homeowner, hey, look at what your adjuster did. He gave us a great example of what this report's going to look like in a deep dive into, what the different parts of the summary are going to present for us. And so when they don't pay O&P on something, you can point to the homeowner and say, look, this says that they can include this on the estimate. Why did they not include it on yours? So this one, they did not pay O&P. I love this example because I can show the homeowner, this is, the ideal situation. Why is it missing from your estimate? How come they are withholding that on yours? And you can have that conversation with them so it doesn't, rock their boat. You can help them understand that they should have O&P because I'm a GC. You hired me as a general contractor, and obviously they're able to pay it. They just haven't paid it on yours. It's in their example. Anyways, that's one specific thing I love about State Farm. You can really leverage that with the homeowner conversation for overhead and profit. All right, let's take a look here. We've got a line item total of $20,000. We've got our sales tax, got depreciation sitting there because the cost has not been incurred. The job has not been completed yet. If this raises a question for you, I am in favor of getting pre-repair supplementing. 98% of the time, if you can do pre-repair supplementing, get the supplement to them before you start the job, 98% of the time, you'll have a lot easier time with the adjuster getting your line items approved. I own a third-party supplement business as well as running the training here at Estimate Mastery, and that's what works for us best with our third-party supplement company. Is that we do pre-repair supplements. We don't wait till after the repair is completed. That's probably a whole other training that I could do. So let me stay on track here for this one. But this is going to be a pre-repair supplement that we're going to submit. And yeah, just kind of roll through on down to the estimate. All right, what did we got here? We've got a 25 square roof, and they've paid for tear off, and they paid for replacement shingles. Okay, this is pulled by ITEL. I have the ITEL report, and it was in fact to RFG 240 line item. That's fine. We've got starter and ridge. All right, 3 tab with starter and ridge. They're doing good here. Got an exhaust cap, flashing, drip edge, and that's it. Okay, so we've got a $16,000 roof here at 25.47 squares. So I always run just a really quick calc on the per square that they are paying out, because for the Denver area, it should be around anywhere from $980 to $1,250. We are far short of that. Depends on the area of Denver, don't get me wrong, but Denver tends to have higher priced roofs. Now, this is 3 tab, it's not laminate, so maybe not that much per square, maybe more in the $850. Anyways, depends on the area too. So I won't get distracted by that. We're at a low price per square, as I can tell you right now, just doing some quick numbers. I can already tell that there are some things missing according to the photos. We also have some siding here. Damage, as well as a window screen, some glazing bead. We're going to wrap that window, and the overhead door was damaged, and some other things. So, you know, they didn't mention ITEL with the siding. That would be my first question when looking at this. Can we R&R just 150 square feet? What's the age of the home? Is it going to match? If it's not going to match, what are the matching laws for Denver? They don't really have any, just off the top of my head. It depends on where you're located too. Municipalities in Denver are very interesting. There's a place called, Highlands Ranch is different than Inglewood. That's different than downtown Denver proper. So we would look into that. I'd also send it off maybe to an ITEL if the home was a little bit older. I don't know the age of the home at this point, but those are some of the questions that are going to be in my mind. Can we just remove and replace? And I think here in the photos, we're going to see some of that. So let's jump on over to the photos. I've got, some photos of hail hits right here. I can already tell you, look at that right there. We've got L flashing. We have flashing that's not accounted for in the estimate. You'll see here when we go back to the roof, we got tear off, replacement, starter, ridge, exhaust cap, and flashing for the pipe jack. And we've got drip edge. They didn't R&R the drip edge. I don't think. I'll take a look at that line item price. But yeah, this is obviously, just in this first photo, I can tell we're going to have some deficiencies. So we need to add some L flashing. Also, there's a valley, so we're going to need some valley metal. That's not on the estimate from State Farm either. They also have, don't know what those were pointing to. I didn't really dig into their company cam file to get their notes. Ooh, this is a good one. So we've got that flashing there. There's where the siding was damaged. No gable cornice returns or cornice return strips here on this one, it looks like. I take it back. This is not a pre-build supplement. Looks like this was post-build. My apologies. Also doesn't look like they used any ice and water shield. I wonder what elevation this address was at, but that's okay. Yeah, some tear-off photos. They went back with laminate. Okay, so this is a post-repair. We've got our... I would advocate that it be pre-repair, by the way, just to clarify what I said before. I would advocate that they have pre-repair. Looks like they switched over maybe to this off-ridge vent system. Nope, we've got a turtle vent too, so maybe that's just my eyes. Nope, that's an off-ridge vent. Got some turtle vents here. Those weren't on the original estimate. In fact, no venting was on this estimate. So that's going to be a code upgrade possibly. Well, hopefully they got some pre-repair photos for me and didn't, and documented everything. A little bit of skipped decking there. Looks like they had, which is very strange. I wonder what happened in that instance. If we're touching anything that's going to be, anywhere near the sheathing, we're going to take a picture of what's going on in that attic. Are there contents up there that if we do anything with the sheathing, we need to move out the contents? Because that's extra work for us to put a tarp over that, any of that. That's when any time we get into the attic area, we want to ask these kinds of questions. I've also got my step flashing over here. That we're going to need to remove and replace, not reuse. A lot of people reuse their flashing. That's on you. But code upgrade will allow, if they have code coverage, it will code doesn't allow us to reuse any flashings that have been damaged. When you put a nail through a flashing, it damages it. So you pull out that nail, you're gonna have some damage there. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, some of that doesn't even look like they have flashing. Or did it not run up again? Yeah, there's some flashing there. It just didn't really run up underneath the siding. Did they pull it out? Got questions on that. I'd have to confer with my contractor on that one. Okay, we've got an other structure. Let's see if the other structure was on this estimate. I don't mean to make you dizzy, but that's our front elevation, rear elevation, left elevation, gutters. Okay, got some gutters that they R&R'd. And debris haul. Okay, so we do not have anything to do with that other structure. That would be another question for the contractor, because those shingles look like they match the replacement shingles. Okay, got our step flashing there. It is present on that picture there. And close-up of siding, not really sure. Okay, oh, here we go. We're looking for the matching. So this may be the new siding, I'd say. Looks like it's a pretty good match. Doesn't match in the lap and how it's gonna interface. Looks like it could be a match. I would have them pull a piece, or is it a little bit longer? I'd need to see it, side by side. I'd have them pull a piece. And that is definitely a different color. So maybe the homeowner chose to go back with a different color, which is fine. But if they can't get the laps to match, then we have a problem. So I would ask the contractor about that as well. Yeah, looks like they're going back with some, okay, yeah, different colors there. That's fine. Cove height. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Cove height differential. It's not going to match. So what are we going to have to do? We are going to have to go after the, a couple of different things. So they're changing the siding color. That's not on the insurance company. That's the insured choosing to do that. So the homeowner may have to come out of pocket to wrap the other areas. But since we have this cove height differential, let me get back to the other photo where it looks like they've got a match for the color, but not for the cove height. If that's true, then we need to prove to the adjuster that we cannot put this siding next to and install it to the existing siding. The whole elevation might need to be replaced so that you don't have a differing look, because before the loss happened, they didn't have, wonky donkey looking siding that doesn't match up to each other. So we need to bring them back to the condition before the loss. Therefore, if we didn't have wonky donkey siding before, we shouldn't have it after. And so that's the purpose of insurance, is bring us back to the condition we enjoyed before the loss. So we didn't have two different siding, types looking strange. It could affect the homeowner's resale value. The more that you prep the homeowner, inform the homeowner, and let them know what's going on with their insurance company, the better off you are going to be. So, Mr. Homeowner, if you go to sell your house and you've got wonky donkey siding, and the home inspector goes, you know what, this isn't going to fly, or just the visual look even could be an issue. So, some policies are written so that you can't really go after this kind of stuff anymore, but. Just a question I want to put out there, are we going to need to wrap that one elevation? But if they're going to pay, the homeowner's going to pay to wrap the rest of the home already. Yeah, I just have questions on that for the contractor for sure. And then it goes to, when you get into siding, it's interesting because if you remove the siding from the 150 square feet that the adjuster allowed on his estimate, where are we going? Sorry, my brain took a left turn. If the 150 square feet, well, wherever you pull out the nails from the surrounding area to fit the new siding in, well, now you're getting into house wrap. It's an involved process. What kind of insulation is behind there, and is the house wrap? You're having to pull nails out. kind of like flashing, once you penetrate a moisture barrier or a insulation, you remove that a nail that's holding all that material in place. Well, now you've perforated the moisture barrier and the insulation. Now it no longer can hold up that same R value with insulation. Just think in that direction. What happens when I do this? We call it consequential damages, by the way. And so just proving visually what happens during that process, if you can get people boots on the ground whenever they're doing the repair or trying to repair, that, hey, if I pull this out of here, now my elevation might be compromised due to the hole that's in the insulation. Again, I'm not an ambulance chaser, and I'm not one to ask for line items that aren't required and necessary, but I do have to think through the steps. If I do this and there's consequential damage, what does that mean for the estimate? So I'm gonna see. Yeah, okay, thank you, Shane, for letting me know you saw it on my screen. Let me just check on some questions here. Cool. Brian, hi Brian, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you today. Love it. Okay, let's go back to the screen share really quick, and we are going to finish out these photos. So let me pull this up. And I don't like that effect, but there we go. Okay, so we got our siding. This, I assume, is one of those glazing beads that's damaged by the hail. Don't love that I don't have any context about which elevation it's on. So we definitely can use some context here. There we go. There's some context, but we don't know which elevation. Looks like it's hanging in a kitchen window. Still, you should give yourself or your project managers or whoever's dealing with your photos some direction that they need to go out to the whole elevation, front, right, rear, left, and then give context. Like, give me my front elevation photo and then zoom in a little bit here to give you the context that that's where it's located. You can also notate all of this over in Company Cam. Yep, more glazing bead. Ooh, we got a window with damage. Was that on the estimate? I did not see that. Let's see here. Glazing bead. No. Did I miss that? Rough wood frame. Nope. Door panel. Yeah, we're missing a whole window here. And whenever you add a window, by the way, in Xactimate, you are going to want to add the retrofit. So that's one thing. I have a little window macro that I give to our members of our group because people commonly miss things like the retrofit. So if we were going to add a window here, a vinyl window, we would then want to add the retrofit window. So these WDW, well, it's not wood, it's vinyl, isn't it? WDV and then retro. And I always advocate, unless it's a brand new home, it's probably going to be difficult. Again, not an ambulance chaser, don't ask for line items that aren't warranted. But the reason it's difficult most of the time is you're going to have to remove that window, and then what does it do to the interior? How is it going to affect the beading on the drywall there on the corner of each, where the window's sitting? What, material is on the interior, and then sometimes you might have brick on the outside that you might have to repoint. I mean, the retrofit is wild, and you always check the click for details on these. And I'm sorry, you probably can't see because my screen is quite large, but it just helps with the removal, repair of drywall, exterior finish. Additional charge accounts for retrofit, and there's one for doors too. If you have a sliding glass door, this could apply for that as well. If you're removing the whole frame, if you're just replacing a panel or something like that. And in this instance, they may not pull the whole window. Maybe do they have the reglaze on that? Sorry, my brain nope, they didn't do the reglaze. Okay, just glazing bead. Anyhow, a lot of windows, you can't just reglaze them. You have to take out the whole window, whereas doors are a little bit different. So it just depends on who the manufacturer was and all of that. So again, just questions I have for the contractor that I can't have answered just by looking over a couple photos. So looks like that one was at that bay window area at the front of the home. There, yeah, that's interesting. We've got some trim, but that doesn't look like storm damage per se. Be interested to talk to contractor about that. Aha, we've got another. There we go. We've got several windows with damage. Again, don't know where this one is. Would love some context. I'm not sure what's, yep, got some more cracking there. And then we're kind of back to square. That's the end of the photo file. Let me do one thing here, make sure I got them all. Yeah, I think that was everybody. Okay, So that is our photo file for this one, pre-repair and post-repair damages. So they did already do the work, but that's I can still ask for money. It's not going to be as easy. It's going to be an uphill battle, but I can get some things paid for sure because I can show that the cost has been incurred. And so with this one, what we're going to be supplementing for is all those flashings that we saw. I didn't pull an eagle view on this one. There may be chimneys. Venting is missing here. Ice and water shield I have a question on. All kinds of fun things. Vinyl, gotta suss out whether that siding, that cove differential, whether that's going to be an elevation that we go after, or if they're trying to wrap the whole home. Have questions there. And then, what are we gonna do with those broken windows? Where's my house wrap? I don't have any house wrap here. Of course, they just replaced the 150 square feet, but I've got to put house wrap back up and possibly insulation. All of those questions I need answered for sure. And then, for this area, the wind rating, is the code asking for a higher rated shingle than a 3-tab? A lot of areas are by code requiring laminate due to the wind rating. So that's another question I'd have for this area. I think I could pull a one-click code on this. And if you guys don't know what a one-click code is, let me pull up a new window really quick. One-click code is fantastic. It'll tell me the age of the home. Oh my goodness, I can't type while you guys are watching. There we go. One-click code will give me the age of the home. It'll give me the whether ice and water shield is required, what the sales tax is, and then who to contact at the county if I have questions about what the wind rating is and all of that. I don't think that's on one-click code. It could be wrong for Colorado. They might have it on there, but a lovely resource. So I don't have to go research who I need to call for this area. It's already on the one-click code, and I can go contact them to see if there's any wind rating or anything like that I need to be aware of. And yeah, that's kind of how I diagnose things and do a walkthrough of an estimate. So any questions on this, let me know in the comments. I am on Facebook and YouTube right now. So whatever platform you're watching on, if you want to throw some questions in the chat, I can see those. And then if you're watching back, we monitor our channels to make sure that we get all the questions answered. So if you're watching this later on, that's okay. We'll get back to you. I'm going to do this again next week, but I'm going to be writing the estimate with you guys. So today was just a review to see where we're headed. I'm going to get some questions answered on this, and then I'll show you the finished product and what we were able to go back for, and then see how it's going with the adjuster discussion. Like I said, this is a live file that we're working. Oh, there's one more thing I want to show you. One moment. Let me share my screen one more time, and I'm going to show you. They had an outdated price list on this one too. So we got to go after the reprice. We got to see, are they going to, they obviously reinstalled laminate. I'm going to have a chat with them and say, why did you do that? Was it a wind rating? How are we going to go back with this? And then get some of those broken window questions answered. But let's go up here. Sorry, let's look at the summary. We have a May 24 price list. So we got to see what date was the job completed. And we're probably going to need a reprice on this one since we need to update the pricing to the current labor and materials that were being used as of 2025. So I'll get some of those answers, and we'll be back next week to write the estimate, with us here. In the meantime, Amanda, if you could send me in Slack the link to the Typeform for the webinars. That's the form I'm going to use here, Amanda. This is all back-end office talk for you public-facing folks. But if you're interested in what we do here at Estimate Mastery, what I did, all of that coaching and everything that I'm going to go back to our member with, if you want that to be you, we'd love to have you join us here at Estimate Mastery. Amanda is going to send me a link, and I'll post that here in the comments down below. We just have a short survey, and then you can book a call with us to see if we'd be a good fit for your business to help you get paid what you should on jobs like I just showed you. We do work with roofing and exterior contractors at the moment, is who we specialize in. So I'll put that here in the comments. You should see that pop up underneath this video if you're interested in seeing what it looks like to join us here at Estimate Mastery. We'd love to have you, and we'd love to chat with you. So that's it for me for this week. think of any other questions, put them down in the comments, and I'll be back next week to show you the supplement estimate that I'm going to write and maybe go over some of the results that this particular member has seen from getting the supplement written and submitted. So, all right, we'll see you next week, and thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.